What's up, everyone? This is Mez here, and I'm gonna be doing some voting on the Game Awards. So here we have the voting page for the Game Awards, and we're gonna start out with the top one, Game of the Year. This one's actually gonna be pretty hard, considering I didn't play much of these that are actually on this list this year. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey. I don't have a Switch yet, so I haven't played them, but I have watched a lot of gameplay on these. Same with PlayerUnknown's Battleground. I've watched that a lot, but never actually played it. Played Horizon Zero Dawn, and I haven't played Persona 5, though I have heard it's actually a really good game. But for this first one, I think I'm gonna go with Legend of Zelda, because from what I've seen, I feel like when I do eventually get a Switch and play this game, this would be a game that I will love. Okay, next one, Best Game Direction. This one, another tough one, because all these are pretty good. Wolfenstein, Resident Evil 7, and Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Odyssey, and Horizon Zero Dawn were all really good games. And as far as game direction, I think I might go with Horizon Zero Dawn, because I actually did like what they did with they took a style that's already been used a lot with open world and all of that, and kind of turned it and made it their own, kind of made it interesting again. Best narrative. This one is another one where it's kind of subjective to the person. So it's another one where, like, What Remains of Edith Finch and Nier Automata I haven't played. Hellblade is a game I'm planning on playing. And the other two I'm a little bit more familiar with. But for this one, I feel like I'm gonna go with Wolfenstein. Best art direction. Destiny. I've never been a fan of the art in Destiny. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Persona, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Cuphead. I think this one, it's with Legend of Zelda, it looks like a Legend of Zelda game. Nothing about it is really outstanding to me as far as art direction. Persona and Cuphead are probably the top two for me. Even Horizon Zero Dawn, it has a lot of creativity with what they have, but I don't think the art direction is something that really pushed it any further than what Persona and Cuphead did. These two probably have the most dynamic art and something you don't really see. So, but with this one, I think I'm going to go with Cuphead. Best score and music. For me, this one I feel like is super easy. This one, it has to be Cuphead, because the music they have there, with all like kind of like Dixieland and all the different styles of like 1930s music they have and jazz, is just right up my alley with the style of music I kind of like. So Cuphead is an easy choice for me there. Best audio design. This one's another one. Destiny. I've never been a big fan of Destiny, so I can get to pick that one. Hellblade is something I looked into. I watched some videos on it, and I did like what they do. Resident Evil 7. Nothing about it is really outstanding to me. It is very creepy. I like the way they did stuff there, but it was never outstanding for me. Legend of Zelda and Super Mario seem like classic Mario and Zelda games. For this one, I'm thinking we'll go to Hellblade, because the way they use like the voices in her head and all of that stuff to kind of show the psychosis that she has is really good. Games for Impact. I think this is another one where a lot of the choices here is not stuff I'm too familiar with. Life is Strange, I do know. Night in the Woods, I know. And Hellblade. But I think, again, we'll go with Hellblade because of the way they kind of go through, like I said before, the psychosis of being part of a war and like what you go through in your head and all, like dealing with that kind of stuff was done really well. Best ongoing game. This one is, I guess, is a lot of games that just kind of trying to keep going stuff, and this one I think for me the easiest choice would have to be Overwatch, because this is a game I still can go back to. Maybe not as much as some other people like Zen, but it is a game I still go back to, and they add more in, and it's always fun. It keeps me interested in what they have going. Handheld, haven't had a handheld game in the longest, so I wouldn't even know where to go with that one. AR and VR, I've seen some videos, but I don't own one. I have used it, but judging by experiences that I've seen, it'll be between Super Hot and Resident Evil 7. And I think I might go with Super Hot for this one. Best action game. This one's gonna be another hard to consider Cuphead an action game, but I guess it would be. And yeah, for me it would be between Cuphead and Wolfenstein, and I might give the edge out to Wolfenstein. Best action adventure game. Ooh, this one's pretty good. There's a lot of big names on this one: Uncharted, Assassin's Creed, Legend of Zelda, Super Mario, and Horizon Zero Dawn. And I just recently, like, Assassin's Creed is a game that just recently came out, so it's hard to determine whether it should even be considered a best action game for the year, considering how late into the year it came out, and I haven't had a lot of hands-on with it. If it did, this one might be my choice, but I think for this one I might go with Legend of Zelda, from what I know of the game and how much already people love it. Best role-playing game. Another one, the South Park Fractured But Whole is a good one. I've never been huge on Final Fantasy, so I didn't really get into this new Final Fantasy either. Divinity Original Sin, I've heard is actually really good, but haven't seen anything on it or played it. Nier Automata and Persona 5. Both games that I've heard are super good, especially Persona 5. So this one for me is probably between Persona and South Park, but I might go with Persona. Best fighting game. This one seems very odd to have Nidhogg and on this list with these other games. It seems really odd because I wouldn't consider this one really a traditional fighting game. The more traditional ones you'll see is like Tekken and Marvel's Capcom and Injustice. Even ARMS is not really a traditional fighting game, and that made it onto this list. And I also heard that's a lot of fun, like a kind of like a party fighting game rather than a more competitive style. But from games I've played and what I've heard and seen, I think Injustice would have to take this one. Best family game? I think with all of these, it's hard. I know these are all just like very Nintendo heavy on this section, aside from Sonic Mania. And it's hard to consider that one a family game, considering it's not really a party game. That's what when I think of family game, I think of party games and stuff you can play with other people, with kids and other family members that don't really play games. And for me, I feel like the best choice of that one is Mario Kart, because that's a game you can always put on in a party and everyone will enjoy, or stop being friends for a while, considering how you play. But it's a good game to just put on and play with your family. Best strategy game. Another one where I feel like Halo Wars I've never got behind, because I've seen it and I was never a big fan of the style of Halo Wars. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. This game seemed like so much fun when I saw it played. It looked entertaining. It was very akin to the XCOM style of like turn-based fighting with movement and that kind of stuff. But and again, Total War is more of a real-time strategy. But my game would probably be XCOM. Because while that game was kind of frustrating, it was it was so satisfying to get through, and it was a lot of fun to play. Multiplayer game. This is another one where I'll say a lot of these games actually I don't play myself, or they're not really the style of game I would play. But what I do know is the game of these that I'll probably enjoy the most is probably Mario Kart. So I'm going to go with that one for best multiplayer game. Most anticipated game. So we have Last of Us Part 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, Monster Hunter World, Marvel Spider-Man, and God of War. Wow, this is a Sony heavy one here with God of War, Last of Us, and Spider-Man. Red Dead looks amazing. I think everyone's anticipating that one for the year. Last of Us, I played the first one, and I'm excited to see what they do with the second one, but I wouldn't say I'm really anticipating it too much. And God of War looks good as well, but also not a game I'm really anticipating. But for me, it's between Spider-Man and Monster Hunter World as most anticipated games. And I think I might go with Monster Hunter just for what I'll be able to do with other people and friends. Because this was a game I used to love on PlayStation 2 from the first time I played it, and I had so much fun with it. So I'm really looking forward to see how they improve this one. And it will be the first one that comes out in the States for a long time, and being able to play with friends and stuff online just seems like so much fun for me. Best independent game. Pyre, What Remains of Edith Lynn, Hellblade, Night in the Woods, and Cuphead. This one, it's for me, might have to go with Cuphead. I don't think that one was a hard choice, because Cuphead looks amazing, had great music, and just looks like a really fun game. And there was like a lot of effort and love was put into this game to make it be as good as it was. Esports games. Rocket League, League of Legends, Dota 2, Counter-Strike, and Overwatch. Might have to stick with Overwatch on this one. Just because, again, it's a game that I still go back to and play. Best debut indie game. Well, considering I just gave best indie game to Cuphead, I think this one was a pretty easy choice for me. It's another vote for Cuphead. And best Chinese game. Wow. That seems to tell me I'm at the end of this list, because that's the option. Well, yeah. So that was my picks for the Game Awards. Stuff I just like, stuff how I want to win, or stuff that I think would win. Yeah, it's gonna be December 7th. We're gonna find out who is gonna take it all, who's gonna win these awards. So I'll be tuning in to find out how I did in my picks. Alright, so this has been Mez with my picks for the Game Awards. Later.